What's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. So yesterday we hit a 9-3 day. The day before that was 12-2. So we're on a decent run for April already. Baseball has been amazing so far, and I have some stuff to show you for baseball. I'll give you some players that I'm looking at, and then the play I really want to give you is basketball. So there's about 8 teams I'm going to go through. I'm going to walk through the situations here so you can understand what's going on in the playoff picture and how I'm playing this. Stick around. So I'm going to show you guys 2 teams that I really do like. I'm going to fade the hell out of a couple of favorites. So just stay tuned. So let me show you the receipts real quick. Again, 9-3 run. I gave away 1 free winner on YouTube yesterday. If you were here watching the video, you would have got that alert. If you didn't catch that video, make sure you subscribe. Also, check out where it says free picks, the link in the description. You would have got alerted of the video, so you would have watched the free winner I gave away yesterday. I'm going to start highlighting some of the comments that I'm getting because I do get a lot of people that appreciate the hard work. So this guy, Scott, says he's one of the best cappers out there. Thanks for all the free information you provide every day, daily. It's greatly appreciated. So I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, please subscribe if you haven't done so. So if you don't believe me, guys, go check out the video yesterday. I said go with the Grizzlies, 25.5, and I go with the 76ers at an 18.5. You can see these guys lost, but they covered the spread. These guys lost, and they covered the spread. This one was not looking good at all towards the end, but they came through because, like I said, it was a motivation factor. Cleveland didn't have to, beat the shit out of them. They just had to win the game. So that's why this got covered. I explained all this in yesterday's video. Some people were even questioning me in the comments saying, why would you go with the Grizzlies if they have so many injuries? This is the reason. I explained all the reasoning behind it. I took the Grizzlies again, then I took the Hawks. So I basically doubled down on that same bet. All the stuff I threw out in the VIP, this is something called a correlation bet. I took 2 in hockey. That came through for us. I did a live bet over here with an over and an under. That came through. And then I was testing something out on a live betting. So that I only threw $5 on there, but that came through. And then I also threw another live bet on baseball and basketball over here. That came through. And some 1 hits that I talked about as well. Just a few more. This was something called a positive EV bet. And then another one that's been hitting very good for us since last year. You can see this was a 3-leg. This one was voided, but these 2 got paid out for under stolen bases. So anyways, guys, let me get right into the basketball. There's about 8 games I got to go through. I'm going to try to do them as fast as possible. And this is what I threw out already in the VIP. So if you guys are interested, there's a $10 slip that you can get all the slips for today in the pinned comment. Right now, like I said, this is going to be under stolen bases. These are all 1 hits, and then these are all props as well. So these are stolen bases, and then this is I think an NBA parlay, and etc. So there's all these plays already. I'm still looking through basketball, so I'll have maybe 1 or 2 more, and then I'll do the live betting later today. But if you want all of these here that are currently in there right now, go to the pinned comment. All right, I was actually going to go through this, but this is going to be too much of a long video. So what you can do here instead is go to my channel and then click on where it says posts if you want these charts. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you subscribe and then go where it says posts. And I post these posters every single day. These are not our final plays. These are just strong streaks of players hitting these lines. So for example, Jabari Smith to get 22.5, he's hit this line 7 times in a row. Same thing with these shots on goal. You can see this Dylan Holloway. He's hit this 2.5 line, shots on goal, 7 games in a row. Again, I'm not going to go through every single one of these. You can take a screenshot or go to the pinned or go to the channel where it says posts. So this is what I've been working on in baseball, and then I'll get right into basketball. In baseball, I have 1 hits. I just showed you the receipts for that. It's been hitting very well for us. I'm also working on the under stolen bases, which worked very good for us last year. And then the under RBIs. You can take screenshots if you want of this. These are not the final ones, but this is very strong indication of who's supposed to be getting 1 hit. All of these here are supposed to be the players that are going to get under 1 RBI, meaning they're not going to get an RBI. So I'm not going to go through this. There's other videos I created on how I come up with this stuff, but I'm thinking of throwing this information inside the Sharp Edge. If you don't know what the Sharp Edge is, it's a tool that is created for giving you a sharp signal for everything that we do. So go to the link in the description. Let me get started here with the basketball, but let me show you what the Sharp Edge is as well. I'm thinking of throwing all those props inside of the Sharp Edge as well. So anyways, what you want to start with here is today's Sharp plays. So for example, right here, it's saying, if you look at today's games, You got OKC versus Lakers. Under is telling you to take a look at the under 224. And it's saying there's a confidence level of 8.5. The other game you want to look at is Indiana and Minnesota on the under 8.0. And then the Pacers at a plus 12.5 with the spread. It's telling you that there's a 7.5 confidence level on that one. I normally don't take these unless I confirm my plays. So like it says here, do your own research. This is just a strong indication on where you should be looking. Don't, like I said, for example, I'm not even going to look on the unders because a lot of these games are blowouts and the scenario changes when it gets closer to playoffs. Because of those reasons, I automatically don't even look at the unders, if that makes sense. So just because the data shows that it should go on the under, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go on the under. Pacers, I actually do like, but I bought them back to the original line of 14.5. But I also took Minnesota on a different parlay. I'm going to explain all that and the reason I did that. But anyways, this is good information to have. This gives you a clear breakdown of what you should be looking at. If you guys want access to this tool, it's 2 weeks for free. The link is in the description. Same tool right here is the Sharp Edge. If we go to the dashboard, it gives you all the projections. There's no teams that are on a back-to-back. Normally, I like to look at the back-to-back to see if there's any teams that are tired versus teams that are rested, etc. But there's nothing there today. I'm going to give you the quick overview of what's going on today, and then I'm going to tell you the two teams that I really do like today. I have not chosen exactly what I'm going to go with, so I'm kind of doing this on the fly, but I do have a bunch of notes that I want to go through. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do this as fast as possible. So Indiana and Minnesota, projected score is 116 to 110. Like I showed you, the sharp plays set to go with the Pacers at a plus 12.5. The original line was a plus 14.5. The line already shifted in the Pacers' favor. So the Timberwolves do want to win this game. And Indiana's already eliminated from the playoffs, but Minnesota's actually fighting for the top 6 spots in seeding. So they do have so like I said, Minnesota is dropping in value here. Pacers did start 14.5. They're currently 12.5. Pacers are covering spreads 80% of the time. And the reason they are covering spreads is because of these huge spreads, just like today. So even though they lose the game, it doesn't matter because they are covering that spread. So that's why this is 80% hit rate on the spread. Now, again, like I said, I do like Pacers to cover the spread, but I also like Minnesota to win. So I'm not going to parlay both of those together. A lot of books don't let you do that, where you're betting on one side and the other side in the same game. But like I said, I'm taking the Timberwolves on the money line on a different parlay because of all the reasoning here. And the Pacers just suck. Plus, they have a bunch of injuries over here. You can see pretty much their entire team is sitting. So I do like Minnesota to win. They have a reason to win. They're grinding it out. And Pacers are just horrible. But like I said, Pacers have been covering spreads, and I don't think they're going to blow these guys out. So that's the reason I'm taking the Pacers. I like the Pacers at a plus 14.5. And I also like Minnesota on the money line. Another thing to note is that Anthony Edwards is out. So that's going to affect the scoring for the Timberwolves. The one true game that's actually a true game, meaning that they both are fighting for something and one of them is not eliminated yet. Both of these guys are still fighting for something. So they're both fighting for the top 6 in the East. So they both need to win. They're both going to be fighting hard to win this game. The win probability is literally 50-50. I'm not touching this game because of those reasons. There's really no edge here. You can see the money is split. The line is split. The line is going the opposite way. So there's too many contradictions. Both of them really want to win this game. And it's just there is no edge here. So I'm staying away from this game. Boston and Charlotte right here. Basically, Boston is locked in already. They're locked into, I believe, the number 1 seed. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that they're locked into the number 1 or number 2 seed. Charlotte is actually still fighting for positioning. And you can see they're supposed to lose, but they're supposed to lose by 7. It is telling you the verdict. You should be looking at the Hornets side. I'm not going to take this at all, but it is saying you should be looking at the Hornets. Another reason to do that is it's actually a reverse line move. Charlotte started at a 6. It's currently at a 4.5. And you can see the bets is 66% of the bets and 58% of the money is coming in on Boston. Yet the sharp signals are saying Charlotte, just for all the reasons I stated. It is saying to fade Boston, but it was saying also to fade Boston only if this was a ridiculous spread, which it's not. So that's why I don't trust Hornets to even cover this small spread. I'm going to stay away from this game. They do tend to cover spreads. You can see right here they cover their spreads 80% of the time. Celtics is going to be coasting, but I just don't trust the Hornets enough to touch this game. There's a few more games to go through. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do my best to hurry up on this. I don't want to be here all day. I got stuff to do. But I'm going to skip through a couple of them actually. The other one of them is the Pelicans and the Utah. It's saying the Pelicans are pretty much eliminated. Utah is eliminated. So basically, New Orleans is eliminated and Utah is eliminated. They're both tanking. It does say the Pelicans have an 84% chance to take this. I'm not going to touch it. There's no motivation in either one of them. They're both tanking. I'm staying away from that game. The other one is Golden State. They're actually playing for play-in survival. However, this spread is ridiculous. It's at a minus 15. I don't think they're going to cover the spread. But again, I don't trust the Kings at all, not even to cover this huge spread. So if you can get a decent line, maybe like a 9.5 or something like that, take a look at the Warriors. I'm not touching this game. I'm just telling you what I see. Golden State has a 90% chance of winning this game. So the Rockets and the Suns, the Rockets are actually still fighting for play-in position, and the Rockets are already locked in. They're clinched in, but the seeding still matters. So they are trying to win this game, but they're not fighting hard for it, and the Suns actually need to win this game. So that's another reason I say you should take the Suns at a plus 1.5. I don't think I'm touching this game. It did flip-flop from underdog to favorite, so that is a big deal. I might take it at the plus 1.5. I'm not sure. Or I could probably buy it back to like a plus 9.5 on the Suns. You can see the Suns have had the third worst schedule, meaning the toughest schedule, while the Rockets have had the easiest schedule. So that strength of schedule does matter. You can see they're pretty even overall. So if you're getting plus 2.5, that's actually a good line already. And like I said, they have a lot of reasoning that they want to win this game. So what I'm going to do is like I said, is probably going to take like a plus 9.5 on the Suns. And then that's what I'll use either to do the Pacers at a plus 24.5, or I'll do the money line on the Timberwolves or something like that. All right, so for this game here, the Clippers and the Mavericks, you can see it's saying to take a look at the under. I'm not going to touch the under. Like I mentioned, there's too many blowout scenarios that the under gets blown up, so I'm not touching it at all. You can see the line barely even shifted half a point, which, again, the money is split. The bet is split. The sharp money does say that there's 15% going towards the Clippers, yet the line is kind of stuck right there, which I don't like to see. The Clippers are actually fighting very hard to be in the bubble, and the Mavericks are pretty much done. So they're eliminated versus a team that is struggling hard to get into the playoffs. The win probability for the Clippers is 84.37%. And like I said, Dallas is eliminated. Clippers have a much better team, but this spread is ridiculous. So again, you might want to look at Timberwolves money line plus the Clippers money line or something like that. I would not touch this at this huge spread. I would more than likely buy this back to the money line and parlay it with something else. All right, guys, I went on way longer than I thought I was. So I gave you a bunch of plays and leans and stuff like that. I don't exactly have exactly what I'm going with. That's why I won't show you a slip, because I don't have it. But I already showed you what I threw in for the player props, for the batter props, for baseball. I already threw all that stuff into the VIP this morning. But this basketball stuff, I already walked through the leans. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to be looking at. It's going to be the plus 9.5 on the Suns, the Timberwolves on the money line, the Pacers on the plus 24.5, and then the Clippers on the money line. I'm going to parlay maybe a two-leg each. So if I'm looking at four of them, I'm going to probably do two legs, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be looking at the Suns, maybe at a plus 10.5 or a plus 9.5, depending on the odds. I'm taking the Timberwolves on the money line, the Clippers on the money line, and then the Pacers, I'm going to buy it back to the original line, or I'm going to get it like at a 24.5, just like I did yesterday's play. If you saw some value at all in this video, please comment, please subscribe, please share this video. We're about to hit 5,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate if you take the extra second and subscribe. Also, check out the free picks and check out the Sharp Edge 2 weeks for free. And check out the pinned comment to get all the plays that we threw out already this morning. Thank you so much. Let's have a great day.